Hey, I'm Scott Sandland from Goal-Oriented Hypnotherapy. And this is a really fun video because it gets to explain to you how hypnotherapy can affect your physiology, how it can actually change your body on a really fundamental level. Because there's a lot of people talking about the mind-body connection these days and how it actually works. Some people, use scientific terms and really nail it down. Some people use really loose pseudoscience and sort of airy-fairy metaphysical things, and that's fine too. And what I'd like to do is explain this in a really practical way, without having to use clinical studies or chemical analyses or anything like that that's just boring. But I want to do so in a way that's concrete for you. And so in doing so, what I'd like you to do is think about your brain like a crowded bar or nightclub, a popular place that people get together at to sort of mingle and get to know each other. And what I'd like you to do is imagine that every single person in that bar represents a thought or belief or experience or an understanding within your mind. And they're getting along pretty much, without any incident. It's all just sort of comfortable and getting along. And just like a crowded bar or nightclub, there's a line outside. There are people, thoughts, beliefs, experiences waiting outside to potentially get in. And I say potentially because just like a bar or nightclub, your brain has a bouncer. And that bouncer is called your critical factor or your critical faculty. And the name's not important. What is important is what it actually does. Because, think of it like the bar. The person walks up and says, I'd like to get in. First thing he does is check the ID to make sure the person's of legal drinking age. The other thing he does is he takes a good look at that person and sizes them up and looks into the bar to see if that person will fit well with the crowd in this bar. He doesn't say is this person a good person or a bad person. He just decides, will this person be a fit with who's already in there? For example, a classy, well-dressed businessman could walk up to a biker bar and the bouncer would say, look, you don't want to go in there. This is not a place where you're welcome. Or a biker could walk up to a country club and they could say, I'm sorry, you don't meet the dress code. And so on and so forth with all those different examples. And it's not a value statement. It's not about saying one's better than the other. It's just about saying what matches. So a possibility, an opportunity, an emotion, a belief gets presented to you. And your critical factor decides if it's like all the other beliefs you already have inside your bar. For example, if I were to say something to you that's totally abstract and untrue, like your best friend is really an evil spy who's plotting against you. You'd know that's not true because all your experiences with him lead you to believe that he is or she is your true friend. So that thought is immediately rejected. Very simply. If you've always been told your entire life you're a great cook, you're a great cook, you're a great cook, well, you have a whole lot of guests inside your bar that say you're a great cook. If someone walks up and says you're a great cook, well, that belief is accepted immediately. If a belief comes up right now that says you're a horrible cook that doesn't know what you're doing in the kitchen, well, that's rejected. The bouncer looks inside and says, that's not true. Sends him on this way. So now let's go into the bar and understand how your brain actually works. Because everyone's getting along and they're all really similar people. And because they're really similar, they all order the same kind of drinks. Not necessarily one, but a few different drinks that are really common in this place. And they do so by obviously going up to the bartender and asking for a drink. And when they do so, they don't ask for the ingredients of the drink mixed together, they just ask for the drink. And when I'm talking about drinks, really what I'm talking about is the chemistry of your body. Because an emotion walks up, or a thought or belief, and says, I'd like some happiness, please. And the bartender mixes up a little dopamine, a little serotonin, maybe just a little bit of adrenaline, and hands it to him and mixes it all up in just the way you'd say, I'll have a White Russian or a Long Island iced tea. You don't need to know the exact portions or proportions. You just need to know the name of the drink that you enjoy. And so that's what your beliefs and your thoughts and your experiences do. They order drinks, and those drinks represent chemistry. Because you've experienced this in your life. You've gotten excited or scared or anxious about something and felt that adrenaline begin to be produced and sent through your body. You've been relaxed and peaceful and felt that cool serotonin. And you didn't use names like adrenaline, and you didn't use names like serotonin. You just recognized the actual cocktail and how it was mixed together. And you enjoyed or didn't enjoy its effects. So what hypnosis is designed to do is go into the bar and start ordering other drinks. And the reason for that is because this bartender is a very smart guy. He knows the clientele that's coming in every day, and he knows the drinks that they like. So he keeps those ingredients right on hand, right in the well, ready to be mixed. He might even have a whole batch of it pre-made as sort of a house special. And even in the back, in the warehouse, in the storage, or underneath in the basement, or wherever they keep it, they have on back order, on supply, a whole lot of those different ingredients. And so what hypnosis does is seize that, because that's where your body works. It's designed to build more and more of what you're used to building. So if you're used to building, say, frustration, well, it's easy to make more frustration. The bartender's good at making frustration, and he makes frustration over and over and over every day. If you're used to making happiness, well, it's easy to make happiness. It's just like going to the gym and lifting weights. You know, you do a bunch of bicep curls over and over and over. Your biceps get real strong. If you did bicep curls over and over every single day, and then one day tried to leg press, you'd notice your legs weren't as strong as your biceps. And so the emotions you have are sort of exercising emotional muscles. So getting back to the metaphor, the bartender's used to making the drinks that are being ordered more often. Hypnosis comes in and sees, well, we're making a lot of frustration lately. What if we switch that? So hypnosis starts ordering drinks for everybody and making friends with everybody, and everybody likes him and he's getting along well. And hypnosis is saying, you know, I'll get a round of this for everybody. I'll get a round of this for everybody. And the bartender starts saying, hey, hypnosis is a big tipper. Hypnosis is a fun guy. And he starts letting hypnosis start ordering drinks for everybody. And everybody starts having these new drinks. Well, pretty soon hypnosis becomes the popular guy at the bar. And he gets to start throwing events. And he creates a guest list. And so new people come up that wouldn't normally show up. And they're on the list, and so the bouncer lets them right in. And all of a sudden the clientele begins to shift. All of a sudden more people with a different kind of drink specialty show up. And all of a sudden the bartender has to shift what drinks he's making and what ingredients he's ordering. And that's the way hypnosis works. It begins to look at your thoughts and makes friends with them, because there really is no bad guy. Your brain's doing the best it can with the information it has. And so what we do is we look at that and we start seeing how it affects you. We start seeing how it actually applies to who you are, and how that applies to the chemicals, you emotionally create, and how that affects your reactions to the world. And you can begin to, without vilifying anything, without saying anybody's a bad guy, begin to shift that. And just like the bar, well, if there's a lot of one type of person in there, it's easy for the bouncer to let more and more of those people in, and so it creates this momentum, this inertia, so you get more of what you already have. And so that's really the long and the short of it. It's a really simple thing. It's a really powerful thing in creating permanent change in your body, in your actual physiology, and really measurable building blocks. So if you have any questions about this, please do contact me directly at scott@gohypnotherapy.com. Or you can, which is probably even better, go to the message board, which is at www.gohypnotherapy.com. And you can post a question that you have about this. And in doing so, you can get responses from a whole bunch of different people, trained and untrained in hypnotherapy in different modalities. And you can get all these different viewpoints on this topic. And if you have a question, it's a high likelihood that somebody else has the same question. So you can even search the message board. And in doing so, you could get the answers immediately, an instant gratification. And all that's free, which is always a nice thing. And so if you have any questions, please do follow up and follow through. It'll only take a few minutes, and it's something you're obviously interested in. So take some time and find how this can actually help you improve your quality of life by your standards. My name is Scott Sandland with Goal-Oriented Hypnotherapy, and I hope this does shed some light onto hypnotherapy and the mind-body connection for you. And do feel free to contact me or visit the website www.gohypnotherapy.com. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching this video.